It's update time, and honestly, I don't know what I'm more excited about. The fact that Buster, the newest brawler, is so sick, or the gear rework. Either way, let's start with Buster, and then we'll cover everything else, including all the details and specifics about how the gold economy is changing and gears. Yes, Buster's the newest chromatic brawler, and he completes the Star Park Cinema, or the movie theater trio, along with Fang and Lola. Buster is Fang's best friend, and they both have dreams of being on that big screen. As for now, Buster's just the guy that runs the projector at the Star Park Cinema though, so it might be a while before he actually stars in a big time action movie. Now, Buster has 8,400 health at max level. That is more than Ash and Rosa, and that means that he has more health than every single brawler in the game, except for El Primo and Frank. His main attack works very similar to Frank's or Sandy's, but the amount of damage that it deals depends on how close he is to the target. We don't know exactly the least amount of damage or the maximum amount of damage that his attacks deal. The lowest that we saw in Brawl Talk was 1,282, and the highest we saw was 2,608 damage, which happens to be a little bit more than one full ammo from Rosa, which is actually pretty crazy for two reasons. First of all, the damage is dealt immediately, and the second reason is the fact that his range is much longer than Rosa's and is more likely to actually hit multiple targets. It looks like the enemy could have been a tile or two closer to him, so there's actually a chance that he could deal even more damage than that. For his super, he activates a shield with his projector that blocks all projectiles that go directly at him and converts them into projectiles of his own that are then reflected back at the enemy. It's actually really cool. He can move while his shield is up, but it looks like he can't change the direction of the shield once he's actually activated it. I imagine that you just choose which direction it's going to be, and then it's stuck like that for the duration of the entire shield. Now, each reflected projectile that he sends back at enemies deals 1,200 damage, no matter how much damage the original projectile would have dealt. And it also looks like the projectiles will be fired directly straight back in the direction that they would have come from, instead of like bouncing off the shield at the opposite angle like one of Rico's attacks would have. Now, as stated in Brawl Talk, the shield does not block projectiles that come from above, like Colonel Ruff's super, or El Primo's asteroid belt gadget, or like attacks from throwers, and several other abilities like Janet's rockets. Now, we don't know exactly what happens when it comes to actual enemies going through the shield. For example, Bull or Daryl using their super, or like Tick's super, his head just running through. Like, we don't know exactly what will happen, but I'll cover that in a future video. One important thing to know about Buster though is that he cannot use his attack and his super at the same time. If his shield is activated and he uses his attack, it will interrupt his super even if his shield has some time remaining. So at that point, you've got to decide whether you go on the offense or on the defense. Now, Buster also seems to have some sort of a charging trait similar to like Bull, Frank, El Primo, and Jackie. And you can tell because sometimes it looks like there's this automatic charging effect that occurs around him. And it just so happens to coincide, at least from what I could tell, when he's actually taking damage. That yellow charging effect happens whenever your brawler actually is charging up their super from any type of source. So that's what I think that's from. You'll also notice this small ring around him, kind of similar to like Buzz's ring that charges his super. And the fact that they didn't say anything about it makes me think that I'm pretty sure that this is one of his star powers, right? I've looked over these clips several times trying to figure out exactly what this star power does, and it seems to have something to do with charging up his teammates' supers as well as his own. In this clip right here, you can see the charging effect around Sprout, and you normally can't see that effect on teammates like in regular battle, which is why I think this is the case. I think that when a teammate is inside the ring, both of their supers charge a little bit every few seconds, but there's some inconsistencies with it, and I'm not 100% sure, so we'll be able to confirm exactly how that works in a future sneak peek. Honestly though, Buster seems a little busted, and I can't wait to get my hands on him. He's got some really cool mechanics that are very new to the game. It's very impressive. I'm really excited about him. But there's something else I'm equally excited for, if not even more excited for, and that is the gear rework. Scrap and gear tokens are being completely removed from the game, and you will now craft gears using just gold. So we got rid of two currencies, and gold is still, that's where the money is, right? They're also adding more gold into boxes that you can either spend on upgrading brawlers or crafting gears, and I'll be talking about that gold buff later in this video. Now, all of your existing scrap and gear tokens that you have ever collected, whether you have crafted them into gears or not, will be converted into gold. So there's also removing all of your current gears in the game as well. This way, it doesn't matter whether you've crafted gears or not, or when you crafted gears, whether it was before gear cost got cut in half in the last update, it doesn't matter. all the way through, it's fair for everybody, okay? No matter how you look at this. It's a little confusing, but it is fair for everybody. After the update, you'll be able to start from fresh and choose which gears to put on all of your brawlers. Now, I'm planning on doing a video for the best 2 gears for every single brawler, so make sure you guys wait and watch that before you craft them yourself, because we are getting some new gears added into this game, which we'll talk about. But first, here you can see 10 gear tokens and 10,500 scrap being refunded for 25,800 coins, which is pretty, well, we'll talk about the gear conversion later on, okay? Either way though, gears are no longer going to have levels. All new gear stats, the new gears, they will be the equivalent to a level 3 gear after the update, or before the update, however you look at that. That is going to make things so much simpler, but it also means that you will have to be a little bit more careful on which ones you craft, because it's not like you can craft like a level 1 gear and it's just a little bit of an investment and you can get all 5 of them. No, you want to make sure that you for sure want that gear on the brawler that you're crafting it for, because guess what? It's going to cost 1,000 gold for you to craft, and gold is not easy to come by, right? Now, one thing that's interesting is that super rare gears will cost 1,000 gold to craft. We don't know for sure how much epic or mythic gears will cost.
Hey, this is Chicken, Kairos' editor. It actually looks like epic gears are going to cost 1,500 coins and mythic gears are going to cost 2,000 coins a pop. Also, now that I have a voice, has anyone heard from Kairos Tim since his channel got deleted?
That'll be enough of that. Either way, all of the current 5 super rare gears will be available for all brawlers in the game. Then we have epic gears, which will only be able to be equipped on certain brawlers. As an example, this epic gear that can be put on Bonnie and probably a few other brawlers will increase their supercharging rate by 10%, meaning it's 10% easier for you to charge a super. That's pretty awesome, especially because she has an ability that will automatically charge her super when she's in her cannon, right? Finally, we have the mythic gears, which will only be equipable on 1 brawler. It sounds like that's subject to change potentially in the future, but for right now, only available on 1 brawler. As an example, here's the Talk to the Hand mythic gear that will only be able to be equipped on Gene, and this will increase the range of his super by 1 tile, which for Gene is actually pretty awesome. But what's even more awesome, in my opinion, is it sounds like we're getting additional gears, not just in this update, but also in future updates. If they're consistently rolling out new gears with each update, along with the fact that they cut gear costs in half with the last update, and they're buffing gold progression in this update, that means that gears are going to be much more accessible for players on the brawlers that you want to put them on, and we'll also get new exciting additions in the future. This is so well done. I'm very happy, but we still have more to cover. We still don't know exactly how the gold is going to be converted or how much additional gold they're adding into the brawl boxes, but I do have some estimates. You guys know how I love crunching numbers. Assuming that it costs just as much to craft a gear before this update compared to the last update, I used some algebra to calculate what you'll be expecting, okay? And that the numbers come out to 2.41 coins for every scrap that you have unlocked ever, and 44.77 coins for every gear token that you have unlocked ever. Now, I used some good old algebra from 2 different equations to figure this out, and we know one equation for sure. We don't know the other equation. It's a little bit of a speculation on my part. So I think it's safe to assume that the real conversion rate is going to be different, especially because these are such odd, not round numbers. But another very important aspect of this update is that they are replacing scrap and gear tokens from boxes with coins, with actual gold. Now, all we saw is just 1 mega box as an example, and it had 831 gold in it. We don't know if this was an above average mega box or a below average mega box, because there is a lot of variance when it comes to the amount of gold that you could get in a mega box. But I've done some math, and based on the fact that the gears will cost 1,000 gold to craft, I am hoping, this math took a lot, but I'm hoping for a 94.5% buff to gold across all brawl boxes in order for progression to stay the exact same for the super rare gears that we currently have in the game. A 94.5% buff to gold. Let's just round that up to a 100% buff. That would be really nice. That would essentially doubling the amount of gold that we get from all sources of boxes. 831 coins from 1 mega box does fall in lines with potentially being a 100% gold buff. But like I said, there's a huge variety in how much gold you can get from a mega box. Now, I opened up 30 mega boxes for a solid set of data points to compare this to, and we are getting anywhere between a 50% buff to gold to 150% buff to gold, depending on whether or not that box was above average or below average. Right in the middle of those numbers Brawlers is a 100% gold buff, so I think that's a good possibility. Then again, if the box they showed was an average box, then we'd be getting a 72% gold buff. This is a lot of speculative numbers. We don't know for sure, and I will let you know in a future video, so make sure you subscribe for that. But from what we do know about the changes to gears, I am very happy with the gear rework. Believe it or not, I still have a lot more thoughts to share on the subject though. I'm sharing that in my 100% honest review video, so wait for that. We've got a ton of quality of life improvements coming to the game. A report button is being added to Power League and will be added elsewhere in the future as well to other game modes. This is specifically to be used when somebody is purposefully feeding their enemy supers, manipulating matchmaking, or for going inactive in the middle of the fight. And I don't know if that's going to be an issue with people that struggle with lag consistently, but it's definitely going to put a stop to people that are purposefully just quitting. For right now, they're just going to use this to gather data, and I wouldn't be surprised if this led to some bans on some of the worst offenders. We're also going to be able to play duplicate brawlers in friendly matches. I know this is a small change, but I am low-key super hyped to mess around with this. It's just a lot of fun, right? We're also getting generic quests outside of Club League, which is so epic, okay? This honestly improves the game in a big way because you can play however you want and still complete them and get rewarded for it. That's so great. Now, instead of having to wait for a specific gadget or star power to come up with in the shop, you can now craft them whenever you want to in the brawler selection screen. I still do not recommend doing this, and you'll be able to get all of them for free if you open up enough boxes to max your brawlers to power 11. But this is a very nice improvement and is useful for the very few situations where it is worth crafting it yourself. Now, you can also practice against bots for brawlers that you don't own. So if you want to actually like invest in a brawler and you want to, you know, hey, do I want to buy this brawler? You can actually try it out against bots. That's so awesome. Another quality of life feature, we are now going to be able to use gems to complete whatever you're missing when it comes to upgrading brawlers, crafting gears, gadgets, star powers, or anything else that costs gold. So rather than spending gems to buy a full stack of coins, which honestly isn't worth it very often, you can spend a few spare gems to finish up a purchase, which is a nice, you know, little improvement. Just remember to use code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop before you buy any gems. And if you do, that'll actually support the families of everybody on the Kairos team. Paula and Danny also told us that they had a special announcement that they would make in early December. From the sounds of it, it's some details on how to unlock the Omega Box Daryl skin, and also a new special type of box, which I can only guess is going to be an Omega box, right? An Omega box. That's really cool, okay? And there's also other rewards that they told us that we could get for free. I can only assume this is going to be for Brawler Days, but the potential of an extra large box does sound really exciting, but for all we know, it could be something completely different. We don't know, have too many details. We've got other skins coming into the game, and a lot of them are for the newest environment. The underground ghost station, the train station. It's a ghost station. It's so cool. This is where Gus's trio belongs, okay? I love this new environment. It makes a lot of sense. I knew they mentioned something about a train in Gus's description, so this makes a lot of sense. Zombrock is going to be available in an 18-win challenge soon after the update drops. 18 wins, that's a very hard challenge though. So don't worry, you'll be able to buy the skin later on with gems if you would like to as well. Franken Grom is also going to cost gems. We don't know how much. My guess is it'll cost 150 gems. The animations for his super are so cool, and also his winning and his losing animation. Luckily, I'm going to be doing a giveaway on my Discord server, so go to discord.gg/Kairos or click the link below and head to my giveaways channel for a chance to win them for free. If the giveaway hasn't started yet, it will be started within a day of this video going live. Now, Inspector Colette is going to be the Power League skin for the season, and honestly, this skin is so cool. I love this skin for Colette. This is really awesome. I would pay a lot of gems for this skin. Trash Panda Penny is going to be the Tier 1 reward skin for the Brawl Pass, and oh my gosh, this skin is so cool. I love this skin so much. Honestly, I think it's worth the cost of the Brawl Pass by itself, so yeah. But then at the end of the Brawl Pass, you'll also get Chainsaw Buster, which is just hilarious. It's super cool and creepy and, you know, fun, right? Then we have Pizza Oven Ash, who will be the new skin available in the club shop. I don't understand what's up with these weird food brawler skins that are happening in the club shop, but whatever. Then we have GeForce Janet, who will cost gems. If I had to guess, I'd say 30 or 50 gems. Then there's First Blob Squeak, who is So awesome. I could see this one costing 80 gems, but I think it's more likely that it will cost 150 gems, or maybe even somewhere in the middle. Finally, we have Rage Quit Terra, who is a very special skin because you'll be able to unlock her for free by watching the Brawl Stars World Finals. Now, if you cannot watch it live, you can actually make predictions before the event goes live and hope that you guess the right winners. And it's completely possible for you to actually get her for free without watching the entire event. Although, I'm personally really excited about this World Finals because I'm actually going to be there along with my wife, Lady Kairos. So if anybody watching this is in Paris at the World Finals and you see me, feel free to come and say hi. I honestly always love meeting my viewers in person, so no need to be shy at all. And if you're not going, don't worry about it. I plan on vlogging the whole event so you won't miss out. And that is everything coming in this update that we can talk about at this moment. I will be sharing more details in a sneak peek video, so make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss it. And until then, check out these 30 pro tips that will instantly make you a better player. Seriously though, my writer for this video actually shared some tips that had made me better, so definitely check it out. For now, this is KairosTime ticking by. We will see you in Brawl Stars.